Hey guys, Todd Liles here, Service Excellence Training, and it is time for a Saturday video. And no, I'm not on the porch, but I am home. And what I want to talk to you about today is a very brief book review of Mastering the Rockefeller Habits. And then I want to talk to you about the 3 implementable items that I'm going to take from Mastering the Rockefeller Habits and going to implement in Q1. Now, let me start off by saying there's a lot more than just 3 items to implement in this book. This is a powerful book. It's such a short little, book, and such a thin book. It just hits hard. It hits hard really fast. So if you've not read this one, written in 2001, 2002, something along those lines, then I really recommend that you do, because it is tremendous. It is one of those hard-hitting books. So let me give you a brief summary of this book, and then I'm going to give you the 3 implementable items from the book, 3 things that I think that everyone should do in their business if you're not already doing it. So if I were to sum up this book, this is a book by Vern Harnish, where he takes an overview as to what the Rockefellers did in their business to make Standard Oil so successful. Now, what I would share with you is this is not a biography of Standard Oil. There are references to their success. They talk about some of the examples there. But I mean, it's called Mastering the Rockefeller Habits, but I would say it's not very much actually about the Rockefellers. It's more about those habits. It's more about the things that produce tremendous results and tremendous success. I think this is just a really great title for the book. It probably could have been titled something much different for more accuracy, but I like what he did because he used a title that people realize, or he used a title that people are familiar with, so he pulled his audience in. But if I were to describe this book, this book reads like a hard-punching, fast-hitting, quick how-to guide. It goes straight into the meat of a subject. It doesn't try to convince you, overly convince you. It doesn't spend tons and tons and tons and tons of time trying to make the case. It just makes the point, gives a quick reference, and then tells you how to do it. And I really like that. As a high D personality, I'm also a high C, right? So there are some things where I want layers of evidence, but as a high D personality, when I'm reading a book like this that was recommended to me by some of our clients that I really value their opinion, then I just want to get into it. And that's what this book does. It gets into it in a hurry. So if you're a high D personality where you're looking for the implementable item, you're looking for the thing, you want to know quickly what's the subject matter, how am I going to put it into play, what am I going to get out of it, then this book is really, really tremendous for that. Now, I'm not sure if that shows up backwards or not, but those are the chapters. Really recommend this book. Tremendous book. Mastering the Growth, right on down through some case studies. But I took away 3 really big implementables, some of which we're kind of already doing, but I think this is going to help us do it even better. And I want to share with you what those implementables are. So number 1 is the daily one-page report. The daily one-page report. The essence of the daily one-page report is that in everyone's business, you have things that you should be looking at daily that let you know. These are like your critical numbers. Some of you might refer to them as your KPI. But you should be able to look on one page, just one, and be able to assess the health of your business, how well things are going. And I love that concept. And the reason why I love that concept is that I understand the fundamental importance of that. Because if you get layers upon layers upon layers of information, chances are for a lot of people, it's going to become a bog as opposed to a report. And you don't want to get lost in the bog. You want to be able to look at one page and on one snapshot know exactly where you're going. Now, that's not new. That's really not new. It's something that we've been talking about with folks like you for a very, very long time. What's new about it, it's almost shameful to admit it, is that while we've been implementing one-page reports inside of our consulting clients, We haven't necessarily done the same thing here. We've had some of those bogs of information. So we're going to pare it down to a simple one-day report, which is going to be, super easy to implement. Which is going to bring me to part number 3. And I love part number 3, or part number 2. Pardon me, I've got it labeled as 3 on here, but we're going to cover it number 2 here because I think it ties in to the one-page report. Part number 2 is going to be 15-minute daily huddles. 15-minute daily huddles. Now, this is something that we have not been doing. We've done lots of individual huddles, but we've not done this concept of a 15-minute daily huddle. We have been doing a weekly huddle for years now, and that's very beneficial. Weekly meetings with inside of our team are very beneficial. But I want to talk to you about the 15-minute huddle, or the 15-minute daily meeting, if you will, because I see a lot of benefit to this, and I also see a lot of potential challenges as we try to coordinate the schedule, as I'm sure some of you guys, if you're thinking about doing this, you're probably going to have some similar challenges as you're trying to coordinate the schedule. But here's the essence of the 15-minute huddle. The 15-minute huddle is meant to only do 3 things. 3 things. Number 1 is to define what's up. That's how I even like that. That's how we put it in there. Agenda item number 1 is what's up. Essentially, it's a few minutes of reviewing what's going on in everyone's life. It's like, hey, what's going on, guys? What's up? Number 2 is to review those key critical daily measures by individual. And I really love that. I love the accountability. I love the group peer pressure that comes from individuals reviewing their daily numbers publicly with each other. So that's great. And then the last thing is, where are you stuck? Where are you stuck? So if you talk about the 15-minute daily huddle, it's just 3 things. What's up? Let's review those critical numbers or those daily measures. And where are you stuck? That's it. And this should take 10 to 15 minutes, absolutely no more than that. And as you can imagine, if you're doing this daily huddle and there are 8 to 12 people inside of this daily huddle, at some point, obviously, it's going to need to be broken up into teams. But if you're somewhere between 8 to 12 people doing this daily huddle, you're very quickly going to get a snapshot as to what's going on from a personal level, and it's also a review of the information that's on that one-page report, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about that one-page report. Now, one of the things that I like in the book, and I think this is a lot of wisdom from experience on Vern and other people's parts that have done this, is that when you get to where are you stuck, he said that there's 2 things that are important about this concept. Concept number 1 is don't try to solve any problems in this 15-minute huddle, because that's not what it's about. This 15-minute huddle is about creating clarity as to where everyone is, because you're not going to solve any problems in your 15-minute huddle. If you're into problem solving, then you're going to have to take that offline and you're going to have to go to work on that. The 15-minute huddle is about publicly saying where are we and what are we working on, and it's about focusing people into the same goals. But that's number 1, is don't try to solve any problems, and I like that. And the second thing that he said, and this is kind of a cool environment, is when you get into where are you stuck, anyone that is working on something that is important, it's one of those big items on your goal sheet for the quarter, anyone that's working on one of those important items is going to discover sticking points. And I 100% agree with that. You're going to come into challenges. Most likely you're going to come into challenges daily, if not multiple times a day. It's very rare when we don't have a day of challenges if we're actually working towards resolving a challenge, working towards resolving a problem. And what he said, and I really got to admit that I agree with this 100% wholeheartedly, and I think the quote is that the only people that don't get stuck are the ones that aren't working on a problem. And I love that. I love that. So inside that 15-minute huddle and where are you stuck, we're not going to try to solve any problems right there, but we're going to identify them so we can take them offline so that we can work towards getting those resolved. And if you're not getting stuck, it probably means you're not working hard enough on that problem. All right, here's part number 2, which I'm doing as number 3 because I rearranged my order. It's called Quarterly Themes and Visuals. I love this concept. And this is something that I would say in 2018, I actually messed up. I'm a very visual person. I love visuals. I create goal boards and I go, hey, here's the goal board. This is where we're going. All those things are very important to me. I've done that for a long time. But I've done them by the year. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's good. As a leader of this company, I need to be able to forecast where we're going by the year. And I've done that. Where we're going to go this year. I know where this company is going to go in 2019, and it's going to be amazing. However, a year is a long time. And I should have been breaking it down quarterly. What are we going to do quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4? In 2019, that's exactly what we're going to do. Now, this is something that our leadership team has been doing with our clients for a while now, to where they break down the quarter, go quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4. But it's often like in life, isn't it? Where you are so focused on delivering whatever the service is that you're delivering to your client, that they often will get the best of you, and you don't necessarily put the best in your own business, which is, that's just me, confessing some honest mistakes here, which is, it's good for our clients, not necessarily good for us all the time, where sometimes you guys get the best of our work. We don't put the best of our work in our own business. I know, right? Dumb. Because if we put the best of our work in our own business, our best would increase to you. But in 2019, we're going to break it down into quarterly goals. We're going to have quarterly company goals, and I've got each of the goals of each one of my team members. I know exactly what they want to have accomplished in 2019. They have given me those goals. We've worked on them together. We have built our forecast and our budget around those goals. So those goals are going to be breaking down quarterly, and we are going to represent those quarterly. What do we need to do in this quarter, and this month, and this week, and this day? And that way we can stay very, very targeted on that. The other thing that I like is the use of visuals. Now, visuals have always been a major component of what we do. If you guys have ever seen some of the videos from, this is my home office, but if you've ever seen some of the videos from my working office, you'll see we've got this great, ginormous goal tracking board that sits behind me for 2018. Again, unfortunately, I did it by the year. So I'm going to rework that, and I'm going to do it by the quarter, and I'm going to do it by the individual so that it's visually more appealing. And visuals are so critical, because when you can see publicly your scoreboards or your leaderboards, if you guys aren't using those, why aren't you? When you can see those things publicly, and when people are, putting up their numbers publicly, it's just, woo, it's powerful. So just going to reinforce something that we've been doing, but in this particular instance, it's going to be to break it down quarterly. So that's the big takeaway. I also would say themes. Have a theme for your year and have a theme for your quarter. A theme would be like what a lot of sports teams do. I remember Texas, the year they won the national championship, I believe that theme was one heartbeat. So sports teams get this. They understand the power of a theme. Our theme for SET in 2019 is going to be prove it. Prove it. It's going to be an internal challenge to every team member to prove it. Prove it with data. Prove it with testimonials. Prove it. You say that we're the best? Let's prove it. We say we turn learning into earning? Let's prove it. Let's show the befores and the afters. And we can prove it, because we are tremendous at what we do, but now we just need to make you guys aware of it by proof in the pudding. We need to prove it. Okay, that's going to be it for this video today. Mastering the Rockefeller Habits. By the way, I read this ahead of the team. The team's going to start reading it now. If you want to read along with us, we'll probably revisit this. Join us. Once a month, we're going to read through one of these books, and we'll have some discussions. I don't exactly know how I'm going to arrange that yet. It's not one of my big quarterly goals. It's one of my fun goals. But I'm going to set a date where we can have a deeper discussion on this. Maybe we'll set up like a go-to-meeting, a Zoom, something along those lines. So if you want to participate, then what I recommend is right now buy this book. Get it in whatever form you like. As you can see, this book doesn't even look like the spine's cracked, because the first form that I read it in was in Audible, because I like to listen to things while I work out. Now I'm going to start going through, and with a pen, I'm going to start writing in this book But if you want to follow along, then get the book. Look on social media, look on our website. I'm going to set a date where we'll do a public little book discussion. We'll talk about what are the implementables that you're going to want to take away from this. And we're going to add a new book in February. But this is the January book. Sometime in the last week of January, we'll do a live public review. Okay, that's it. Thank you guys for being here. Look forward to seeing you on the next Saturday video. And until that point in time, you know what to do. And if you don't, I'm going to tell you, you go turn learning into earning.